welcome to Sunday morning and another lesson number 4, and we're moving on to level 2. So it's a brand new pattern. It's the A pattern. Now, if you didn't do the level 1 3.1 test, go back and do that, because it's only going to get harder from here. So if you don't have a good grasp on level 1, the C pattern, trying to throw this level 2 in there is just gonna really make it hard. So you just go back. Don't get too anxious. We're trying to learn how to play lead. We're trying to do it the right way and learn it in a way. When I first learned the cage system, I took lessons and they taught me the patterns, but they didn't teach me much beyond that, and it took me a long time, a pretty big learning curve, in order to put it all together. Because when you get right down to it, at the end, it should be one big pattern. It shouldn't be 5 separate patterns, and that's the goal here, is to teach it as one massive pattern. And so the exercises, the Baritone method, as I like to call it, is focusing. It's slow, it's focused, and I believe it's going to be effective. I know it's going to be more effective than the lessons I took. Okay, so let's get going here. If you are enjoying the lessons, these lessons are free. Flow Ride, thank you so much for being a supporter of the channel. You're helping us out, and you're keeping all these lessons free for everybody. So I appreciate it, and I would imagine everybody else does too. The PDFs are, and go to Buy Me a Coffee. There's a link in my description and in this description, and you can kick down a couple bucks. It doesn't have to be much, but it keeps everything free and it keeps everybody happy. Okay, and you can also find these PDFs for this lesson in the description. So grab these, you're gonna need them. And again, this is gonna mimic what we did on the first lesson. We're going to look through, so you can see our roots this time are going to be on the G string. And so open is G, fret 2 is A. Remember, B and C and E and F are right next to each other. All the other frets, you have to skip a fret between them. So G is open, skip 1 to A, skip 1 to B, that puts you on fret 4. B and C are right next to each other, 5, skip 1 to D, that's 7, skip 1 to E, 9th fret on E on the G string, then E and F are right next to each other, so that would be 10, skip 1 to G, and you're back to G again, so you're back to your 12th fret is on the 2nd string is G, and open is G. So G, A, B, C. B and C are right next to each other. D, E and F right next to each other. G, back to G. And then we'll even go up to the 14 during this exercise and hit this A. Now the full chord that we would be playing, as you can see on page 1, and the great thing about this pattern is on the high side of the pattern, it's all on the same fret. So that's just absolutely beautiful. And the chord is the same way. And this is a chord you should recognize, and it's another movable chord. Now, we're not going to play the bottom string. We're going to mute that bottom string. So if we want to play this on the 4th fret, if we want to play our B, what we're going to do is we're just going to play on the 4th fret the top 3. That's B. And the way I deaden that string is I just put the palm of my hand up against it and barely touch it, so it deadens it. So if you have the top 3 strings played open, that's a G chord. Then if you move it up 2 to the 2nd fret, that's A. That's your A chord, and you should be familiar with that one. Slide it up 2 to the 4th fret, that's your B chord. B and C are right next to each other, so the 5th fret. And remember, this 2nd string, the G string, that note is naming this chord. So since this is a C note on the G string on the 5th fret, that's a C chord. Remember that the pattern 1, we were naming everything with the B string. Now we're naming it with the G string. So 5 is C, up 2 to 7 is D. And listen to this D. You can tell they're the same chord. So you have a D here, you already learned that one. And you have a D here. So you slide up 2 to E. That's fret 9. E and F are right next to each other, so 10 is F. That's an F chord you're playing. So look at all these new chords you're learning how to play on top of, but just like we said before, everything starts simple. You go to the fret, to the note, that's F on the 10th fret. You form the chord, that's F chord. And then you slide up 2 to 12. You have a G chord, and then let's go up to 14, kind of crampy. And you have another A chord. So you have A there on the 2nd fret, and then you have A on the 14th. Okay, a nice little exercise you can do to help get this one. You're learning the names and the notes of the fretboard too while you're doing this, and this is really important because you need to know the name of the note that's going to name the chord of that certain chord in order, when you're playing, if you're in C, and I want to play a solo and I'm like, man, where's that C chord at? Well, you need to know where that note is, and once you know where that C note is, 5th fret, man, you got the chord, and then you got your pattern that we're going to learn, pattern number 2. So it's important. But here's something you can do. You can start on 14 with the A and go 1, 2, 3, go down to 12, 1, 2, 3, that's G, go down to 10, that's F, to 9, E, to 7, that's D, to 5, that's C, to 4, that's B, to 2, that's A, and then that's G, open. So that's kind of a neat thing you can do to learn. And then that'll help, just a little exercise to help get this one kind of going into your head. Okay, so the pattern, if you take a look, we'll start with the D chord, so that's on page 1 there. So this D chord is on the 7th fret. So in order to play this one, you'll play 4, 7, top, 4, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. So in the key of D, 4, 7, 4, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, work our way back to D, which is there. So the way this is going to sound, we're going to start on the B scale, and we're going to just do this little exercise all the way up. Now, if you look on page 2, you'll see the practice riff that I wrote up. So it's going to start on the D string, and we're going to go, in the case of B, we're going to go 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. And again, tab, this is the D string, and then D string here, and then the second one is your G, then B, and then the top is the E string, so low to high. And this, let's just look at the practice on the B scale, and I only did B, C, and D because after that you should be able to piece it together where you go to start the next one. We don't want to rely on tabs too much. We're learning the scales and the patterns, and we're learning the position of the chords and where the notes are. And so once you see what's happening with B, C, and D, you know, you should have it all the way up. So this is how it sounds. If you look at that B scale one, it goes 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Okay, and we're going to do each one, and then you sound out. So in the beginning, you sound out the chord B. That's a B chord, and then you start it. That's hanging on B. We're ending on that B note, so we know right where our root is for B. And then we're going to do it again. And hit the chord. And then we're going to go to C, which you can see is on the 5. So we just move everything up 1 fret, and we hit the C. And then we do it. And then we're going to do it again, and we're going to work all the way up from B up to A. And this should be your exercise, very reminiscent of what we did with our very first lesson. We're doing it again. So, and what I want you to do at least 2 times during this week too, so you don't lose track of pattern number 1, is I want you to go back to that 3.1 backing track, the all keys backing track, and I'll put a link to it in the description. And I want you to go ahead and play that through at least 2 times a week and play pattern 1. So you don't, so remember it's 30 seconds in each key, and you're playing just pattern 1. That way you don't lose pattern 1. The challenge here is when we move on to pattern 2, we don't want to lose pattern 1. And I know this is the difficult part of learning this, but believe me, this is going to be one of the more difficult when we introduce a new pattern, because we're trying to focus just on the pattern, but also keep the other one in mind too. In next lessons, we're going to start playing them both, so that way we don't have to worry about forgetting one or the other, because the lesson is going to be playing both of them and combining them and using them together. So then you have no other excuse. They're gonna be right there. So, but for this week, as you're playing this exercise for pattern 2, make sure you go back and play that all keys backing track and play pattern 1. Believe me, it's gonna pay off when you do that. I'm gonna set our metronome to 60. I got an old timer one, to 60 beats a minute, slow. Okay, and we're going to start with B, and we're going to strum it, 2, and start. And we're going to do it again, 2, 3. That's B, hit the B. Now hit C, fret 5. 2, 3, do the pattern. And do it again. Here we go. Then hit C. Now go up 2 to 7 and D. And we're doing the pattern. Do it again. Here we go. Ending on D. Let's hit that D chord. That way we kind of plant it in our brains. Let's move up to 9 to E. Hit the chord. And do the pattern. Here we go. Let's go. And then hit the D chord. Now just move up 1 to F. And now let's do the pattern. And do it one more time. Let's go. That's F. Hit the F chord. Now 2, 12 to G. And let's do the pattern. One more time. Here we go. That's a G. Now we're going to slide it up 2. Let's hit the G chord. Now let's slide it up 2 to 14. That's A. Hit the chord. And let's do the pattern. And one more time. Okay, and then that's just for fun, and this is bonus material. Let's work the chords on the way back. 14A, and just finger pick it, just hit it like that. Here we go with A, go, 14, 12 on G, and then 10 on F, then 9 on E, 7 and D, 5 and C, 4 and B, 2 and A, open and G. Okay, so there you have it. You can get a metronome and you can play it yourself and play along. If it starts to get easier, you know, you can speed up your metronome and make it songy. So that's C. And do that. So if it gets too easy and boring, you know, just kick it up a little bit. You don't really need the metronome, but it's good to start playing with something that's going to keep time for you. And I like the sound of that walk down, you know, it's just sound. And you're hitting all your notes. Now, the takeaway from this is we got a brand new pattern, and you have your PDFs that, you know, show you what they are. So you have these. The reds are the notes that are in the chord, and of course the red with the yellow bullseye, that's the root. That's the note that names the chord. We already went over that. I hope you are grasping that. If you're not, you have any questions, hit me up with those questions. I don't want to lose you here. Whenever you start adding more to something, you know, you started getting cozy with pattern 1 and you add more, this is the place where people have a tendency to say, this is too hard for me. I can't do this. I can't get it. But you need to fight through this. If you really want to learn how to play solo on the ukulele, these are the hard times, the speed bumps when you're adding more information. And don't let that discourage you. Keep working at the pattern and keep working at pattern number 1 too, because very soon you're going to see how they all mesh together. So don't get discouraged. Keep playing through this. The exercises are right there. You have it in tab. You have me playing along with that you can follow along. So, and it's brand new. You're not expected to have it right off the bat. So just take your time with it. We are taking our time on purpose to be able to give ourselves time to learn how to do these, to learn the patterns, but the most important thing, you know, is to know where the name of the note. Oh, that's C. if it's on the second string, the G string, if you hit a note, you know, you hit this one on the 7th fret, you know that's D, and go by forming that chord, you know you have a D chord. That's how simple it is. Oh, that's a D note. Oh, I know I got a D chord right there. And A is on the 2nd fret. So very important to learn those notes, and then the chord associated with it, and then to piece the last piece together, the pattern that's associated with it. So keep up the good work. You've moved on to level 2 for a reason. You're comfortable with level 1, and more exciting stuff to come. I got some really good exercises that are the Baritone method, that's what I'm calling it, just to make it sound fancy. But I've come up with some pretty good exercises that are gonna help combine everything. Because I want you to get this. I want you to be able to solo on your instrument. It's just what we're trying to do. So let's do it. How about that? Okay, well, have a good week. I'll probably do some shorts, just maybe throw some bonus material out there, or a tip or something like I do at times. But have a good week. Keep on playing, and man, that's it. Enjoy Sunday. Talk to you later.